Hey guys, we're here. It's time for the ultimate thing we've all been waiting for. Well, not really. Today I am doing my top 40 list of my all-time favorite films. Last year I did a top 10 of my favorite movies of all time. This year I decided to do something different, a top 40. Next year I might even go with a top 40. So this year, let's look at my top 40 favorite films of all time so far. And this is all my opinion. Rankings were hard, so it took some time to get done, but I finally got it completed, and I finally have it all ready. This is this thing I could think of. Now, the rules are, I am not including any sequels at all. Like, any sequels, no remakes. I'm only including one each. So, for example, I'm not going to include two of the same movie that are both related to each other as a sequel or a remake. I'm only including originals, or maybe could include a sequel that's better, but just one per franchise, one per franchise. So how it's going to work. Without further ado, let's look at this top 40. We're going to start with the top, number 40 through number 31, and then we'll continue on with part 2 from number 30 through 21, part 3 from number 20 through 11, and part 4 will be my top 10 so far. Let's start. Number 40 is Dirty Harry. If you've seen my list of favorite movie characters, you know how cool this dude is. The movie overall is a perfect example. What Dirty Harry is a story about a man who goes through a town stopping crime scenes everywhere. There's crime all around. This dude is a badass. I love him. I've talked about him before. You should watch that video, my favorite male movie characters, if you can, so you know how much I like this character. You may have a few problems, but overall he's perfect for the role, and the movie overall just takes a perfect advantage of how this works. It's just a wonderful idea for a film. It's honestly Clint Eastwood's best performance from what I've seen. He's even better than some of those spaghetti westerns he's been in. I like those spaghetti westerns, but I personally think his role as Dirty Harry is much better. It's just much awesomer, much cooler, more badass. It's just the perfect kind of idea. Number 39 is West Side Story. Here's a film you heard me talk about on my top 10 favorite movies of the 1960s. You know that it has great dance numbers for great songs, a great, well put together story that actually can be kind of sad, some well written idea to it all, and it honestly just feels like the right kind of idea for a movie. It just tells something really different that we normally wouldn't see in a musical like this. But that's how much I love it. It's based off of a real-life musical that throws us into some great loops. The remake that is planned to come out this year, I don't know still, should be good. I mean, it's made by Steven Spielberg, that's good. Regardless of if it's good or not, I sure hope it is, because this film is, wow, just everything great about a 60s musical. Number 38 is WALLE. Hey look, another Pixar film. Remember when I said we're probably going to see a bunch of Pixar on here? Well, here's WALLE, for example. This is a movie that's meant to take place in a futuristic time period. A film that kind of tells a different idea of story of Pixar. It's confirmed this movie would be different than the others. But that's just why I love it so much. It tells a completely different story about a robot and a class of garbage and more robots, more futuristic stuff. I think it's perfect. I think it's fun to enjoy. Some people enjoy the idea of this movie when it comes to mostly the animation. I'm going to be honest with you. When I first saw this movie, I actually thought this took place in a live-action world. Until I saw the CGI characters, of course, the humans. But before that, I actually thought these were CGI characters in a real world. That's how great the animation is. Just surprises me, honestly. Number 37 is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. This is an odd choice. I don't really want to talk about this, but I think it's that great. I never talking about Ferris Bueller on my list of favorite male movie characters. You know what I think about this man. He's the coolest teen in the 80s. Like, I love him. I love how much he does. He can do literally anything without getting caught. He gets a lot of luck in his life. It kind of makes me jealous. I wish I was as cool as him. But it tells a story that's honestly different than most other 80s teen films. It's not meant to be. Doesn't really have any big romance or big drama. It has big humor. It has some moments of romance and drama, but it's overall a very hilarious idea. the way the film everything the film gives us just honestly is just so satisfying and enjoyable. I can watch this movie over and over again and still enjoy it, still not get tired of it. One of those films that can be rewatched a bunch of times and never be bored of. Number 36 is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Now here's a movie of the 80s that most people wouldn't consider this great, but I certainly personally do. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is a story that no other film of the past has ever done. It crosses over Disney cartoon characters with Warner Brothers cartoon characters. When in your life have you ever seen Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny on the same screen? When have you ever seen Donald Duck and Daffy Duck share the same amount of screen time in one film? Where have you seen cartoon characters combine live action this epic? We've seen that before, but this was the most epic out of the bunch. This film throws a lot of great stuff at us. Some argue that this is one of the scary 80s kids movies that it shouldn't be rated PG at all. Yeah, I guess that is kind of true, but overall, I think the film tells a great story and has a great idea of crossing over Looney Tunes and Walt Disney animated classic characters. That is something I never thought I'd ever see before, but now we got it. 35 is Joker. This was a recent released film. Joker is came out just last year, but when it came out, it was big. It was a huge movie. Joker is a story about a clown, a different clown. The original Joker, we all know the name, Jack, this is a different Joker. This is a Joker named Arthur. He's played by Joaquin Phoenix. Never thought I'd see Joaquin Phoenix as Joker, but I said the same thing about Heath Ledger. I didn't think he would pull off the Joker, but he did. He does. Do I think Joaquin Phoenix is better than Heath Ledger's Joker? I'm going to be honest, not really, but I still think he pulls it off pretty well. I think all the fun, scary moments in this film, I love all the ways they create this movie. They create this movie with a lot of unique effort. They throw a lot of great ideas for past super anti-hero movies, of a villain, and just put him into this film, making it that creative. That's what I love about it. It throws a lot of anti-hero film elements in this movie and just makes it all work. Number 34 is E.T., the Extraterrestrial. Here we go. A classic family film of the 80s. It's the mystery, the suspense, the call that started it all. The Extraterrestrial. This movie couldn't be any more creative. I swear, if somebody decides to remake this movie, giving it a new idea, I would just be so mad. This movie shouldn't be made again, because it was pitch perfect the way it was. The way it was should be kept like that. They should keep everything they kept in this, because this movie actually tells us a perfect story, has a perfect idea. It gives some great stuff for its tale. I don't normally see any 80s family movies be like this. I'll admit, maybe it's not that kid friendly. Maybe there are some moments kids wouldn't admire. But for my age, I love this movie a lot. Boy, it's probably Steven Spielberg's most iconic film. Not his best, but his most iconic, definitely. Just because of how uniquely stylized it is. 33 is Avatar. Yeah, I know. A lot of people have started not to like this movie anymore. This movie was huge when it first came out. It even became the highest grossing film of all time. And even got a lot of mention at the Oscars. But as time went on, it seems critics have stopped liking this movie and seem to keep calling it dumb, bland, boring. No, I disagree. I completely disagree with that. I don't think it's bland and boring anymore. I don't think that. I think it's still a great movie. I think it's still very unique. I still think it's perfect. My opinion didn't change about it. I still love it. Yeah, I still love it the same way. I don't hate it like they hate it. I don't dislike it at all. I love it the same way as they love it. I still think all these effects are great. I still think the story's great. I don't know what they're saying. This is a great movie. Number 32 is the Lego Batman movie. Now, this was an idea that kind of threw a little difference at us. The original Lego movie from 2014 was a huge success. It grew a lot. So they decided to make a
little Batman film with the Batman characters, he would got a lot of respect. So they did it. And in my opinion, it was better. Yeah, I know, a lot of people disagree. I think this movie is better than Lego Movie. Lego Movie is more a great idea for a film, but Lego Batman Movie keeps its story in a better tone. It has a better tone to its film. It gives a lot of much better humor and a lot more to its idea. I guess maybe not a lot of people would call it this great, but I personally have a huge relationship with Legos. I showed you a bunch of sets in my past YouTube videos. So, you should know how much I love all these Lego movies. Again, probably don't know why I call it this great, but I just think that, okay? I have my opinion. Jeez, don't be so on me. God, I'm allowed to not like this movie that much. I can't. Cut me some slack. Jeez, I'm sorry. God, so rude. Number 31 is To Kill a Mockingbird. The classic tale of a story that I have talked about before. My favorite movies in the 1960s. If you know what I've said, you know that I think To Kill a Mockingbird is just very unique. Okay, it has the perfect amount of drama, perfect amount of idea. It actually tells a little moral when you think about it more. This movie is really, really great. It really works for me. I watch this movie a lot of times, and every time I watch it, I learn something from it. That is how unique it is. You see my review about it, and you know how great it is.
Well, that's it for part 1. Stay tuned, because part 2 is coming soon. So get ready, keep your pants pulled, because we're going to have part 2 ready, and then part 3, and then part 4, and then this whole thing will be over. So keep continuing on, and you'll see part 2 soon. Bye for now.